Hello traders, and welcome to the Friday wrap-up. Traders, it's October 16th, 2015. It is 10:13 p.m. on Wall Street. Traders, I'm coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Bright blue sunny skies and white sandy beaches. It is Saturday morning for me. It's 9:13 in the morning. Traders, great to be with you as we do the Friday wrap-up. Remember, the purpose of this is we're going to go over some daily charts and look at price action. We're not looking for trades or anything like that. Just taking a look at price action and see what we can expect from some of these currency pairs in the week ahead. Traders, don't forget this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Please visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, my name is William Gilday. I'm your moderator for the Friday wrap-up, which we do every Friday after the New York close. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006, and in 2008 I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later came to Thailand for 3 months to celebrate. Well, it's 8 years later, traders, and I'm still in Thailand, and I love trading Forex in the Asian markets. In the Asian time zone, I should say. It's really great. I can do all three markets and still get a good night's rest. Traders, I'm always looking for opportunities and probabilities to take trades that puts a check mark in the win column. That does not happen all the time. I'm looking at fundamentals, and I'm a technician, so I'm always looking at charts. I'm looking at candlestick patterns, I'm looking at price action, I'm looking at price structure, I'm looking at all that stuff and formulating what I want to do in the trades, especially in the markets. This was a tough week this week. This was not an easy week to trade. I hope nobody took any big hits, but it was a tough week. I think I only took 2 trades in Forex this week. I do trade another instrument in New York, and that trade is not over yet, so we'll see what happens. All right, let's get to the legal stuff. This risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. That is so important, that your money management is really top-notch. You really shouldn't be trading more than 1% of your account on any trade, and you should never be over 5% total at any time of your trading account. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's get to the charts and just some commentary. I sort of mentioned it that it was a very tough trading week. The markets were pretty much all over the place. Now we're back to this Fed situation, which just is absolutely ridiculous, but that's my personal opinion. But it is affecting our trading. Remember, we're macro traders. We trade the globe. We just don't trade a euro dollar or a dollar Swiss pair. We trade everything. We trade the globe. So fundamentals do come into our play, and you have to know what's going on around the world when you're taking your trades, because if you don't, you're going to get slammed. The other thing is you need to go to higher time frames from the time frame that you are entering and exiting trades. So I enter and exit trades on a 30-minute chart. However, I look at a daily and a 4-hour and see where support resistance is, or maybe some fibs that I need to pay attention to. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the indices. The indices really did well in New York. The Dow was up, the S&P was up, and the NASDAQ was in the green. In the Eurozone, the DAX, FTSE, CAC 40, and Euro 50 were also in the green. And if you come on over to Asia, my side of the world, the Nikkei 225, the S&P ASX 200, the China A50 out of Shanghai, that's a new one that they put on the list, and the Hang Seng were all in the green yesterday. So everybody was in the green. Looks like the markets had a good day yesterday, trading in the green. So that's what's going on with the indices. Let's take a look at this dollar Swissy. Now this is pretty interesting, because if you know that the dollar Swissy and the euro dollar are correlated, right? If the euro is going up, the Swissy's going down, and if the euro is going down, the Swissy's going up, and you can see that's why we have this sideways price action. Now these are a lot of pips, some of these candles, but because it's a daily chart, but it gives you a good idea of what's going on here. So we saw dollar weakness for 3 out of the 5 days. This week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were really down days in the markets, and Thursday and Friday it's recouped everything, and it's basically coming back. Now, what do I see on this chart that concerns me? Well, what concerns me is this 200 exponential moving average that is sitting right there as we come into Monday. So we'll see how that works out. And again, I don't want to buy Swiss francs, folks. You know, I've got to be honest with you. But I would like to buy dollars, you know, because I think the dollar is strong, and I think the dollar is going to get strong. Yeah, it had some weak days this week. You know, the dollar got weak, and that's okay. You know, that's part of Forex. Nothing moves in a straight line. But I would like to take advantage of this situation, and if this can break this to the upside, that means the euro is going to go down, and the dollar Swissy is going to go up. All right, let's keep going. We've got a lot of charts to go over. Here's a pound dollar. This thing's been all over the place. The pound has really traded really wild this week. And if you mainly focus on the last 5 candles, you can see we've had, you know, 3 red days and 2 blue days. But on Wednesday, this really took a big boost to the upside, which I think was, in my opinion, a stop run. I mean, this was absolutely crazy, this run on. I mean, we were expecting, this was it. Before this, you know, we were looking on lower time frames, and we were looking for the sell-off. We were looking for this to come down. You know, the UK hadn't put out such great numbers in data, so it's not data related. So I think this was just to wipe some people out. But it's really amazing. You know, it's not by coincidence that where are we at now? We're at the 200 exponential moving average, and Thursday and Friday we're showing dollar strength. So again, I go into next week and I'm looking to sell the pound dollar. And, you know, this is going to look different on a 15-minute, 30-minute, or 1-hour chart. You get to your 4-hour charts and your daily charts, they should match pretty much. If my 4-hour chart, my daily chart are conflicting, I'll probably stay out of that trade. They should be in line with each other. If we got a down day, we should see a down day on the 4-hour chart. Okay, we should see some red candles. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's keep going. This is the euro dollar. You know, not surprisingly, it had an up week, but look at what happens on Thursday and Friday. You know, we're all the way back down to, you know, what is that, 1154. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise us. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see us back down at, you know, the 1200 mark at the end of the week. It wouldn't surprise me at all that this drops another 250 pips to the downside. You know, we'll just have to see how it goes. Again, look at where price is below. It's below the 200 exponential moving average on a daily chart. That's very significant compared to if you're looking at a 5-minute chart or a 30-minute chart or, you know, a 15-minute chart. This is powerful when you get a break to the downside on a daily chart below the 200 exponential moving average. That definitely will stay in the back of my mind when we come into Asia in our next Asia session as we start our new trading week. So we'll keep an eye on that. So basically, I'm saying is I'm still bearish on the euro dollar, and I still just want to sell it. Okay, here's the dollar yen. Folks, if you don't have a dollar chart, I don't have one on this platform, but if you don't have a dollar index chart, really, there are sites that have free charting, and you can get the dollar index. You have got to watch the dollar index through your trading day. You can keep it collapsed. You don't have to keep the screen open. I know some traders are only trading on one monitor or a laptop, or, you know, I do really suggest that you have 2 screens when you're trading. I mean, you really need 2 screens today. So, you know, if you're on one screen, try to go out and get another screen. Screens are cheap. You can always add a screen onto either your laptop or your PC. And the dollar index is a chart that you just have to watch, because these moves on the euro were predictable by the dollar index chart. It showed us that we were below the 94. The 494 area was at 94.80 like on Monday, and we closed yesterday at 93 something. I didn't trade New York yesterday, so I'm not quite sure exactly where we were at. So take a look at this dollar yen. This just gives you a representation of where the dollar is at. I don't trade the dollar yen, but I use it as a tool. And what this is showing me is, okay, we had a couple of down days on the dollar. Dollar gets weak, but again, here we are stuck on the 200 exponential moving average, and we have to keep that in mind. And we're going to see in our next Asia session how this reacts, if this can get above the 200. It probably will not do it in Asia on a Monday. I don't even know if it'll do it in London on a Monday. You know, Mondays are pretty sluggish. I call them observation Monday. In other words, don't take any trades and just see what's going on and try to see what the market's going to do for the week. And then, of course, watch for what data is coming out. So this is showing me that the dollar is still strong, and it looks like it's going back to its old ways and continuing. But really, the dollar is not getting stronger. It's just maintaining. It's just staying where it's at. All right. Here's a dollar CAD. You know, this is all about oil, 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 oil. This is all about oil. So the CAD was strong here for a little bit. You know, oil went up in price, but now it's back below 50. Yesterday, on Friday, I looked and oil was down to the 46 area. So that's probably why we're seeing a blue candle here, because oil is dropping in price, and the CAD, of course, is going to get weak, and we would expect that. So when oil was at that 50 and 49 area, you know, we had 2 nice red days, but, you know, oil's dumped now, and it's back down to 46. And surprisingly, gold has dropped the last day, 2 days. Gold has dropped. So that usually you don't see that. Usually you see one or the other. Gold goes up, oil goes down, and vice versa. So just something to watch. But if you're looking at the dollar CAD, just look at oil and dollar strength. But if I'm going to trade the CAD, I want to know where oil's at and what it's doing and where it's going, right? I don't predict price, but I try to predict direction. Okay? All right. Here's the Aussie dollar, one of my pairs that I trade on a regular basis. You know, this had a nice up move for a little while here. But, folks, look at where it's at. It's at this resistance level. And if you look left to the chart, it has been rejected from this price level many times. And it's been rejected again. We have a big down day here on the Aussie. And all we're seeing here is dollar strength. Dollar strength. That's what we're seeing here. So, you know, I'm continuing to stay bearish. And my bias is bearish. And, you know, we had quite a few blue days there. 3, 6, 9, 12, what's that, 13 candles, 13 days of blue candles. Now, some of them are horrible. They're probably 20 or 30 pips or 40 pips, you know, and they're dojis. But as we got farther on and you get closer to that resistance, they're pretty decent candle sizes there and pretty, you know, full engulfing candles there. So now we hit this resistance area and it looks like it's going to, you know, just take a tumble, and that's at that 7,400 area, it looks like. So just be careful of that. And like I said, my bias is to the downside. I'm looking to sell this. Here's a euro pound. Interesting. You know, the euro pound is this is a very interesting pair to watch. I don't necessarily. I only look at like 7 or 8 currency pairs. I look at 8 currency pairs as a norm. I'll trade anything if it has a good setup. But the euro pound is sideways. This is definitely in a sideways, you know, ranging motion here. There's nothing going on. I think these two are just battling it out. And you can see Friday's candle again is now stopped by the 200 exponential moving average. And if you go left of the chart, you'll see that this 200 has been very, very strong with this euro pound as far as a reaction from price. And that is what we want to look at when we look at these charts on the Friday wrap-up, is what happens when we get to certain areas. Well, this resistance area is held, you know, spiked through it and immediately, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday comes back down. And where does it stop? Gee, what a miracle. Unbelievable. Right at the 200 exponential moving average. Just something to keep in mind. Euro Aussie, this pair is a wild, wild pair. This pair is bearish, right? This is a bearish pair. It's been sideways, but it's been all over the place. I love trading this pair. I trade this pair a lot, the Euro Aussie, because the biggest benefit is not its price action, because its price action is pretty ugly, to be honest with you. However, when it does get in a trend, and if you look at the red candles where we have 3, 6, 7, 8 candles to the downside, when it gets in a trend, it does very well. When it's sideways, it's nasty price action. So I'm always waiting for that trending motion. And, you know, if you look at what we have here, we're at support here, and what do we have? We have a decision candle, an indecision candle, and then a decision candle at support. What is that? That is a morning star, folks. That's a morning star. That's a reversal pattern, and, you know, we might see this back to the upside, you know, and we ended Friday on an up move. So, yeah, very interesting candlestick pattern there. So, you know, we might be heading on the way up. All right, here's the Euro Swiss. This should be sideways, right? Because they're correlated. What one does, the other one does the opposite of. So, and that's why I put this chart in here, just to, you know, really emphasize the point of the Euro Swiss. And it's sideways. And you know what? Most of this chart is sideways. It had a big move to the upside. You can see it. It fibbed and then continued the upside move here on the Euro. Swissy became very weak. But if you look after that, all the way left of the chart, it's in a sideways price action. It's been in a sideways price action for a long time. So, like I said, I don't trade this pair because it's like trading two magnets trying to connect them. It doesn't work, So unless you get really convincing trending price action, I don't trade this. This is like, it's not a win-win situation unless it gets into that really good trend, and there would have to be a reason for it, right? All right. Here's the euro yen. This week the euro yen did absolutely horrible this week. Most of the week this euro yen stayed. You can see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday it popped out to the downside, which was bearish, which I was expecting that. However, I did miss the move. And yesterday ended on a blue candle. And where is it at? Again, at the 200 exponential moving average. The euro yen's a great pair to trade, except when it has no price action. And like I said, most of this week, this pair had no price action. There was no trades in this pair. So didn't trade the euro yen at all this week. But I do enjoy trading the euro yen. You can see on the chart, when it gets in a trend, it can do 2, 3, 5, 10 days of nice trending price action, and that's what we're looking at, right? Just looking at price action, you can see it really does very well. Okay, here's the beast, the pound yen, and we've been sideways pretty much this weekend. A couple of down days, and then we have 3 up days: Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Closed with a higher high and a higher low. So we'll see how this goes. I think you got to be careful with yen pairs. I think Abe and Kuroda are getting ready to do a stimulus, and you can always get a hint when they're going to do a stimulus, and that's when they start talking a lot. And if they start talking a lot, they're getting ready to do something. And to be honest with you, they've been pretty open about it. Yesterday there was a lot on my news feed that this was going to. Is going to happen, that they have tools to take care of any situation. Well, that tells me, okay, you're just going to increase your stimulus package, and so we can expect that at some time. Of course, everything's on the Fed, and I really don't want to get on that situation, but the Fed, those people really need to get their act together. Like, I don't know what they're doing. They're just teasing the markets, and they're messing with the world economics, and either make a decision or don't make a decision, and then tell us what your decision is. And don't get me on the rant of the Fed. I think I put this chart in twice. Did I do that? Oh, that was a CAD yen. Sorry. Here's the pound yen. Okay. Pretty good trading here, but not this week. But this is another pair that does very well, and you just got to be really careful because it's a very volatile pair. If you look left of the chart, it's very volatile. It can go up for 4 days, come down for 3 days, go up for 2 days, then go sideways, come down, go up. You got to really trade what's in front of you when you're looking at trading the beast. And I really don't advise anybody to trade this live unless you have a minimum of 6 months of live trading on other currency pairs. Don't jump into trading the pound yen right off the bat. You can get beaten up on this. This is a very volatile pair, and it reacts a lot. And I only tell you that because I've been there. All right, here's the Aussie New Zealand. Now, the New Zealand is not strong, right? This is all about Aussie weakness, and there she goes, tumbling down. Down she goes, and the New Zealand looks like it, So the Aussie continues to be weak, continues to go down, and makes the New Zealand look like it's strong. I really, in this pair, this would have been a great trade, by the way. This would have been a great trade from like 3 weeks ago. And for those of you who caught this from the daily chart and reflected it back on your lower time frames, congratulations, because I didn't catch this, and this was really an easy plan. I would have just, put a range on that and see when it broke the range and just taken it down. Then it went into a range again when it hit support, and it broke that and just continued its downside. So this was a nice trade for those of you who caught this trade. Congratulations. This was a really good trade. And I should have caught it. I go into a couple of chat rooms, and they were talking about this. And I just, it's not a pair that I currently look at on a regular basis. I only got 2 eyes, and when you you can only look at so many pairs and do analysis and keep an eye on them. Wow, we're at 20 minutes already. Okay, this is the Aussie yen. This is another pair that I like. It had a really nice. The yen got weak. Look at how this had nice price action to the upside. Now it looks like it's come back down. It's sideways. No big action here. We'll just have to see what happens next week. However, if you look at this chart, spatial intelligence, right? This is a bearish pair, right? We just want to sell this. We want to sell this Aussie yen. Okay. The yen is definitely stronger than the Aussie, and we know that. So we just want to sell this, okay? So I'm looking at this as we want to take this to the downside. I'm not looking to take this to the upside. However, I would not be naive to this. And you see all these blue candles to the upside? I would fib that swing and see where this comes down to. And if it comes down to like a 618 fib and then gives you like a reversal the next day, I would pay attention to that. That's pretty good stuff. Here's a New Zealand yen. Okay, so again, the New Zealand looks good because at this point the yen was weak, and this goes back though because if you remember, I think it was last week, the middle of the week before, New Zealand had dairy data come out, and they had very good dairy data come out, and it really boosted the New Zealand, and I think that's why we saw this move to the upside pretty big. I don't expect it to last though, because this pair, again, spatially, if you look at the whole chart, this is bearish. This hasn't taken out any significant levels. This hasn't done anything special. So, okay, it had, a week and a half of up days. That doesn't mean on a daily chart that we're going to change a trend. I don't think we're going to change a trend here, and I think this will continue to the downside. All right, our last currency pair of the day, we're really over today, over 22 minutes already. This is New Zealand dollar, and dollar weakness is what this is all about. If you look at the last 5 days, but however, look at what Friday ends up as. It ends up as a red candle, and on Thursday we have a nice wick on that, so that pulled back, and a lot of this action is taking place in the New York afternoon, which is great for those of you who can trade that time. However, in Asia, the New York afternoon is like 2 o'clock in the morning for me, 1 o'clock in the morning for me. So I don't get to trade the New York afternoon session. I trade New York up to about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wall Street. But other than that, I don't get to trade New York afternoons, which is a shame because I think there's a lot of opportunity there. All right, traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I thank you for joining me for the Friday wrap-up. Please come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, take care, enjoy your weekend break, and we'll see you in the next Asia session for the market opening preview, which we do every single trading day. Take care now. Bye-bye.